Okay, so right now we're going to look at equalization or EQ, and EQ is another, it's another crucial part to mixing and editing audio and making, for any sound engineer producing, EQ is going to be one of your most utilized tools. So you have to know how to use it effectively and efficiently. I'm going to show you But I want to tell you what it's about, and I want to show you how to, or how I use it on vocals. So, right, let's start by getting up. If you're unaware of where it is if you click on a track and you see this rectangular box. If you click on that, it'll straight away come up with your EQ. That's the quickest way to get your EQ up. So right, so after that, you've got this horizontal line, which is represented by frequency. So what this is this is 20 hertz all the way up into 20k. So anything between them two, between 20 hertz and 20k is going to be shown, you know, by this, shown by the EQ. Sorry. Vertically, we have our dynamic range, which is, you can see numbers in increments of 5 decimals, but you can get in between and tweak it as much as you like. Okay, so let's move on to our tools, the fun part. So what you've got here is this is a high pass filter. It allows all the highs to pass, and it traps the low, and well, cuts off the low and allows the high to pass. And then this is, as you can imagine, this is a low pass filter. It allows the lows to pass as it cuts off the highs. This is a shelf. It it looks like I don't know, like some sort of prong. But basically, what it is, this, if you can see here, is saying, it is gonna cut the high. It's gonna cut the high frequencies, and it's going to boost the high frequencies. If I show you here, and obviously it's called a shelf just because the way it looks and what it does. Um, Once again, we've got one at the other end. This is, once again, this is to cut and reduce the lows, and also to boost the lows. So that's that. We also have these four peaks where we can mold mold the peak into a cut or a boost, depending on how you see fit and what's needed. So these are the tools we use to help mold and to cut our EQ, to cut or boost it. Right. So we also have down here, we have analyzer, which plays a very important part. If you put the analyzer on, it is right now you can see a signal because I have a signal playing in the background, which is this one, which is the lead vocal. To be fair, when you're looking at an EQ, you can pretty much tell a lot. We can tell basically a lot what the instrument is, or what's being played through the frequency pattern. The correlation between different peaks and the way it's moving, and which frequency zone and area it's in. After time, you'll basically be able to tell what it needs, what it doesn't need, and yeah. So anyway, let's move on. I need to quickly explain to you what these mean down the bottom. So imagine we've got an analyzer run, and we're gonna put on a high pass filter. So we know this is vocals, and we know that anything really below 75 we don't really want. Now, if what you see here is, if I just bring this to 100k, sorry, 100 hertz, okay, so I can do that by dragging it. But to be fair, because a lot of EQs can be hardware, you really need to know these three parameters down here. Now, okay, so this is representative of how what frequency I'm going to I'm going to place it at, whether it's a cut or a boost, and that's on all of them. But here, what makes this one different is this is 24 decimals per octave. So what that essentially is saying, an octave lower, octave down from here is going to be 24 decibels less. So if you go to octave downs here, so if you go to 50 hertz, at 50 hertz, it's going to be 24 dB lower than it is up at here at 100 hertz, and that's basically what that means. It just means decibels per octave. You can change this, you can have it make it to what, as I say, what you really need. This at the bottom here we call the Q, and it basically just changes the bandwidth of your selected tool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop off everything from about 50k. I'm gonna make it quite sharp. Okay, that's just literally because that's what I like to do, and a lot of my vocals, I know down around 20k there's not much going to be coming out. Just to give it a bit of warmth, I like to just round it off a bit. So I'm gonna do that. I also round it off on the other end, I like to start it around about 10k to round off around 20. I like to, between 300 and 600, I like to have a little dip. And the thing when it comes to EQing, so when I say dip, I should have been more technical. It's that's a cut. So what you're seeing here is I'm changing the key point, really with everything and anything you need. Now I'm doing this literally on a visual representation. I'm not actually hearing what's going on, but because I sort of know how I want the vocal to sort of sound, and I sort of know what it needs, and this will all come with time. I like to always put a little boost with quite a large bandwidth, about 6.5 dB. So once you do that, and then you have a little listen, and then you listen back to see if it's okay. So what I'd suggest for yourself is you do it by ear. So let's do this. Doors to completion, that's what I work towards. Having strength, opening my mind, can force open the doors to completion. That's what I work towards. Having strength, opening my mind, can force open the doors to completion. That's what I work towards. Having strength, opening my mind, can force open the doors to completion. That's what I work towards. having strength. Okay, so I'm liking that. Right, so what we do to check it, we'll just turn it off. Completion, that's what I work towards. Having strength. Okay, now with it on. Completion, that's what I work towards. Having strength, opening my mind. Okay, so what straight away you can hear the more of a presence with with the EQ. And to personally, what I would do after listening to that, even though you can noticeably hear the difference, I would actually put a slight boost here to bring out the low mids. Let's have a listen back. Completion, that's what I work towards. Okay, so that's without it. Completion, that's what I work towards. Okay, so straight away you can hear it. It sounds like it gives it more presence. It sounds like he's going for it. So this is what we want when dealing with EQ. I hope, in fact, you know what? Let me quickly show you, just in case you ever come across an EQ, that doesn't, like for example, this one hasn't got visual representation, but it's still going to do the same thing. So you've got your frequencies. That's between 30 hertz and 1,000. This is your low part. This is your mids. They start from 100 all the way to 10k, and then your high part, which is 40k, all the way down to 500 hertz. So, okay, so this is representative of, your frequency line here. It's the same. You've got your gain, your boost, your cut. You've got your shelf, or you've got your peaks. Got your peaks, got your shelves, and really, this is something that once you get your head around an EQ, you'll be able to look at many different EQs and see exactly what's really going on. You see, and so anyway, I hope this has been a help, and I look forward to seeing you soon.